Hi, good afternoon. I'm screaming. Of course, we always start off the program with Hannah saying hello. Hannah's working on her ear infection, so are you gonna take her, Roger?
Sure.
Or give me the basket and see if she'll sit there. Pops, can I have her basket?
Basket.
So today's kind of exciting. I think I've been warned not to say certain words, so we're gonna do a little breeding, I guess. Let me a little bit back on the history. It says, obviously, you guys know we've been in business for like, I don't know, 30 years, 35 years. Here you go, sorry. The most fond memory about breeding at the nursery, I would have to say, is probably when we were much younger. I would say over 2 decades ago. That's the best time when we were kids, and Norman, myself, and Eric, we kind of hung out and around the nursery at night. It's really weird. It's like we were young, so we stayed up all night. We probably started about 7, 8 o'clock after dinner kind of thing, and we had the nursery closed, and lots of plants were out. In the showroom, the old showroom, we had a lot of plants out. Norman was breeding path. Eric was breeding anything intergeneric like brassias, oncidiums, and I was taking care of the phalaenopsis. So I bred the phalaenopsis. Good for you, girl. Just kind of lay around. So that's my most fond memory. In that time, we're all young, and Norman was coaching us, teaching us on. Hey, Tony, welcome. We're very fortunate. We have 2 members. We have Tony, and I'm sorry, you first. Oh, hi. 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 Yeah, so we have 2 podcast members that I invited to come join us. So that's great. So Norman was showing us how to breed. So of course, if you know anything about breeding, it's like you hope for the best. It's like having two adults, and hopefully you have a pretty baby. So I would be like, hey, Norman, do you think if I bred this with this, do you think it'll be pretty? Or Norman would be like, whoa, what are you trying to accomplish? So, you have to think about what do you want it to get out of that breeding, and think about it first, not just bam, 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 and pray for the best. So anyways, so the other day I came back and I found 2 tetraploids. I was having problems saying that word. So this one is Hannah. Tetraploids. This is Jamie. She was awarded AMAOS, and I found her, and she's obviously very healthy, got lots of roots, so she's a rebloom. Then I walked down the hall, and then I found this, which is another AMAOS, and I think Norman called it a pandoform. He named it for Roger. It's under Dr. Roger Lee, AMAOS. So he goes, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we just do a little breeding for Saturday for your pre-show? I said, great. This is the first time I'm really going to think about what I'm going to do for a pre-show that's not 10 minutes prior to the pre-show. So, where's my toothpaste? Oh, can I have some? So am I an expert at this? No. So if there's any experts out there, I apologize ahead. But, we all have our own methods. Norma was going to have tags for me.
Oh, they're commenting on your earrings.
Huh?
Janine says great earrings.
Oh, thank you. I know I did this just for the podcast. Norma was supposed to give me tags. Yeah, when we breed, we're supposed to have obviously tags on the pod parents first, and then the plants you cross with. So, do you guys have any paper or note card over there? And I'm sorry, Hannah just kind of doing what Hannah likes to do, kind of hang out. Do you see Hannah?
There you go.
So, when you could actually do a selfie. So if you want to just do it back onto itself, you could do that, or you could do a cross. So today, since we have the husband and wife, and they're both awarded, so let's just use these 2. I think I'm gonna use Jamie as a pot parent because she is a little bit stronger, and it looks like, well, actually this is just 2 plant, but yeah, she's a little bit stronger. But we could do it reverse as well, to see what it takes. I'm gonna need a lot of close-up on this one, guys.
Which one first?
This one. So to do, oh, this one that, whoa, are you really close? So orchids, it's got a female and a male organ all in the same flower. It's kind of weird, right? She's like, whoa. So it's male and female all in the same plant. Trying to find if the pollen cap on this one, a lot of them fell off, so let's find one with, uh-oh, we're in trouble. There's no pollen on any of these flowers, guys. Okay, so I guess we're gonna use Roger. Well, we'll still use them as a carrier, but here we go. Here's the pollen right in here.
It's a little bit harder to see.
I know, it's very, very hard.
You get too close.
Yeah, you need to go back a little bit. Here, right here on the tip is where the pollen is. So we're gonna just take it out again. Be careful. God, these are so small. We might be breeding a big flower. I can barely see it. Yep, nope. Hey, Brian, can you just get me a flower? Any big flower that's in the vase over there? I could probably show it on the bigger flower. It's so tiny, guys. Today should have been a glass day. Well, anyway. I'm gonna have Brian bring me a bigger flower so you can probably see it, where the pollen cap is.
She's just resting right there.
Yeah, she just like whatever, wherever mom is. Okay, here you go. Let me just tip this flower. This is probably easier to see. Right here, if you pop it open, you see there's orange. You see it? Can you see that well?
Don't know.
You could get a tweezer, but I didn't bring any. Here you go. Can you see it now? The orange thing? I don't want to flick it and I'll lose it. Here you go. You see it? Got it?
Yeah.
It's very hard.
White, white.
It's very, very tiny. Can I have that flower? Just that flower. Just the flower you gave me earlier. Oh, here. Just any that. Can you see it?
No, it's a little bit hard.
It's hard. Well, anyways, I guess I could put it back here.
One more time.
So ideally, take the pollen out. And I'm just going to use this flower because it's going to be really hard to show to do it on the plant itself. Of course, the flower should be on the spike on the plant, okay? It's just for the ease of things, we're going to do it this way. What I usually do is stick my toothpick in there just to grab some, I don't know what you call it, it's a little bit, help me pick up the pollen. See, I could just pick it up. And you insert it in here. So now we just crossed it. We just crossed it. Pretend that was another flower. We took the sperm, well, whatever you call it. Anyway, pollen off, and you put it in here. So you already pollinated this flower, and you hope for the best. And usually we would write our tag. The pop carrier to write the name on top first, and then the cross on the bottom, and you would date it. Then we usually would just tie it here. So pretend it's still on the plant. It's so hard to show you on video. We didn't think of it on how to do this. So now you walk around in the greenhouse, there's these tags on there, and if you're commercial, usually we don't let people back there. Then if we do have people back there, we usually sometimes write a code name. We do not give people, you know, the parentage, because in the past we had people steal our seed pod, and then bam, you know, 6 months of work is gone. Usually the commercial people, we would write down code words, and we have a log, you know, XXSA is what name, and then if people steal it, it's no use, because unless they want to flower it for 3 years to figure out what it is, and pray to God it's something worth it to wait 3 years. So always make sure I think it's pod parent carrier on top, and then the cross name on the bottom, and you would date it. So this just kind of hangs on a plant in the greenhouse, and it depends on what kind of orchid it is. It could take 3 to 6 months for the pod. It'll become pregnant. I asked Norman to bring me a plant. Did Norman bring me a plant that was that looks like it was pregnant? Probably not. But anyways, so that's just part of the breeding process. What is involved is, and don't forget, practice safe. You know what? I can't say the S word because Facebook might knock me out. Use a different toothpicks for different breeding program. So you don't want to transfer things. Everybody's laughing at me under their mask. I can see it in your eyes. Anyway, so that's my attempt to try to show you how to do. I'm sorry, but I don't think you should see how small. If you can't see the orange one, you cannot see this one. This one's white. Let me see if I could show it to you. I don't know if you can even see it. That's how big it is. Right here on the orange. That was a pollen for this one. You should see this one. It is purely white. You can barely see it. It's right here. Which one did I take this one off? This one, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put Roger and Jamie. And can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I already, oh shucks. Talk about not practicing safe sex. I forgot.
You said the word.
Oh crap! Sorry. I mean, pardon my French.
So now I need a beep button for you, Jamie?
Yeah, you need a beep button. I'm sorry. You go and try to do this. Like you need like a big piece of paper so you don't drop these pollen everywhere. Voila, successful. So then I'll get a tag for this, and then we'll tag this and pray that it'll take, because not every time it will take.
Nicole says, good job, Jamie. Maryland Coffee wants to know, how do we order the wire you mentioned a few weeks ago?
Oh yes, we do. We actually had a lot of people order it, and then we had a lot of comment that they really loved it. I think we'll get Crystal. Okay, Crystal to put that item on, or I'll just post it myself later for the wire. Yeah, you could also use the wire to tie this down. So essentially, I don't know if you've never seen it when it's pregnant, if it takes, we have more people here, this part gets fat. You know, it actually gets swollen like your stomach. This part will get all swollen. And you just have to watch it. I think we're gonna try to see if this one takes, or later on we'll show you what a pregnant pod is. I thought Norman had brought me one. Oh, he didn't bring me one. Yeah, sorry. We always get a little bit busy Saturday with clients. So, and then Roger and I had a late start. So this part will be kind of turns fat, and then later on we'll take all the flowers off, because try not to disturb it too much.
I think the pizza break slowed us down a little bit, Jamie.
I swear they fed me pizza. They just
The pizza break, that kind of.
usually we don't eat till like 2-3 o'clock. But today we ate early. Norman, did you bring me one with a seed pod? You didn't? Okay, that's our next week. Yeah, so this part will get swollen and get fat.
Yeah, it was here.
It was here. I know you brought one, but anyways. So that's my attempt of, normally it's so small I can't show them, so I did it on this.
Okay.
So the idea is there. And I hope you guys learned something. I'm really sorry. But this one the pollen was white, so it was so hard to find. So yeah, I'm not professional, but anyways, yeah, I did mix and cross. It was a beautiful semi-elbow. Remember, we called it Madonna or City Girl. What was it? City Girl.
Yeah, City Girl Madonna.
City Girl Madonna. It actually came out really pretty. It was a beautiful white, and the lip was super, super dark. So I amazed myself. That was one shot, so I didn't want to do it again because I didn't want to ruin my record. But yeah, so Norman has a lot of plants we're breeding in the back. I told him that a lot of times we don't write down the cross name Norman because, you know, we don't want, as a commercial, we don't want people to steal it.
One year I did have people stolen the whole seed pot.
Yeah.
And so that had all the parentage there.
So yeah, it's like giving it away for free. So
Yeah.
we had to learn, I mean, can't be too trusty. So we learned to just write code names and dates and then refer back to the log. You guys have any questions for the one that's here? Anthony's here. Anthony is the Mr. Norman's cat dealer. That's Chestnut and Buttercup.
That's where I got my chestnut and buttercup from.
I think he posts links. If you guys want cats, we know where to find them. Bangos. Pardon my French. Okay, Norman, you're on.
Yes, everybody loves chestnut.
Everybody loves Chestnut? Buttercup is beautiful.
And Buttercup, but everybody knows chestnut because Chestnut's been on how many times? Everybody knows chestnut.
Yeah, everybody knows Chestnut.
We got something even better. He's weeded.
Something? No, there is nothing. He has something even better than chestnut.
You do?
We can't say anything right now. We in Orchid just
But when it comes out, you're going to bring it and show us.
Actually, we could do like a 10-minute cat thing.
You can
Bring a cat.
you can bring it
Hi,
maybe
Roger.
next week or
Hi,
the week
Roger.
after and share it with everybody.
Because we all...
Oh no! You should show the brood. He had the brood Bengal cat.
Blue Bengal. Oh my
There's
God.
a different color form of Bengal cat, just like Orchid. Anyway, last week, I'm gonna continue what we did last week, okay? And I show you. I have a little cut on my finger, so I usually don't wear glove. But if you have a cut on your finger that you're gonna work on a potting media, I would recommend get a glove. Okay, so this is all prepared. Some of you may have seen the podcast from previous week. You always pre-soak them with 5-cent solution, a teaspoon per gallon of water, and then we squeeze them out, and then you flop it. And this is you can get this pre-mix or the potting mix from my company. You have everything there. We use the best Oregon Douglas fir bark. I have perlite and also have bamboo charcoal in there. I imported a bamboo charcoal. Yes.
They wanted to know what my Maxdaria is planted in. It's in the fine bark.
Yeah, the Maxdaria is in the. I have two sizes of bark, the medium size and the fine bark. Okay, so if you are in Southern California, for example, and you go orchid outdoor, I would recommend get the fine bark because outside in California is hot. Like yesterday was 94. So even though you don't, even the cymbidium, I would use a fine bark here. But if you in Florida, you have more humid weather. Your dendrobium, your cattleya, if you don't want to do moss, you can do what I call the medium size. So there are only two sizes, the medium bark and the fine bark mix, okay? And what's nice about this is everything, I think we sell it in quarter yard and we ship by ground. For the moss, we just have a new fresh import of the moss from Chile, and I like this is the color of the cherry moss. It doesn't have to be really long. Actually, I don't like a really long one. The shorter one is actually easier, and this is this is for the new shipment. You see how fat, nice and plump for the moss.
Linda was asking, is that good for cattleyas?
Yes. I grow a lot of stuff. In fact, this is the Nobile dendrobium type. Look at this. In the moss. Okay. Okay. Oh, Hana is there. She's over here. Okay. Okay, remember the Keiki I showed you last week? Okay, last time, this is actually we did it. Roger, can we do a full close up? I just cut it in the, this is the flower spike in a water vase since last week. And then when you're ready to do it, you try to do it on all your repotting with the Phalaenopsis, Cattleya at the same time because you. So this is where I'm gonna cut off. Water? Can I get a bottle of water?
Oh, wow.
Okay, Roger, you can see I'm gonna cut. I'm not gonna cut it right here. I'm gonna cut it a little bit taller, okay? Because if I cut too close, they're gonna be dry out. Now this one here doesn't have a root yet. I'm gonna leave it in here, okay? I'm gonna put Keiki paste, which I sold out right now. We'll get it back in. It's no hurry. And here's another one. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
We have lots of
We have an
visitors.
audience today.
I know.
Big audience today.
6 or
Okay.
8 people watching.
Okay.
Yes, we have bloopers too. You okay?
Okay.
You need to-
And I'm not gonna pot it right now. I'm gonna let it dry. I'm gonna do it later. You never want to do it right away, okay? So I'm gonna set it aside.
What's that look?
Now, here, Roger, here's another one. Okay, this is the dendrobium, nobile type, and the downflower. And you notice the Keiki here, okay? Somebody called Keiki or Keiki. It's a Hawaiian mean the baby. Okay, I'm gonna separate one. You have to separate it right now. And this one here, I'm gonna leave it here because it's not ready yet. The root is just too short. You usually want to have a root about 2 to 3 inches. This is the abdomen. So I'm gonna leave this one here. Don't touch anything. Then I have this one to repot. I'm gonna set it aside here, and we're all going to do it at once. Okay. And this is the one that is really battered. Well, terrible. Should have been repotted last week, last year. So I let it dry. It's also weak. That this one here is ready to pot up. In fact, look at this one. I have a Keiki at the same time. So I'm gonna do an inspection. That's good. We will do everything at once. And this is the one that Brian, my customer. Hey, this is yours.
Water meter. Yeah.
Okay, this is the Jeff's moisture meter. And Jeff, you still carry this? Okay, great. Let's do this. Can you show this? This is the one Brian brought in last week, and so this is a good case study. Okay, so this is the perfect example that we do it. Okay, this is the original plant from 2 years ago, and I think he have a crown rotted, and luckily he got a side shoot. Now the side shoot is getting good, but you can always tell by the color of the leaf. Okay, a healthy Phalaenopsis when they're happy, look at the sheen. You see the sheen on this? Okay, the plant cannot talk to us, but it show it to us. So just look at the leaf. Even before I pull it out, I know the plant, the root is not happy. So this is the perfect example that we're gonna downsize it. It's too big a pot. Okay, and this is actually a samurai. It's a Violacea banana. So when it was okay, I think Brian, and this is the case, I think you overpotted. Did we overpot it before? So all this time he was put it there. There's no new root come out. So remember on my earlier podcast, I said with the moss, small, less is more. less is more. Because what happened is, this is good. This is the new one, but the original mother plant, the root is gone, but the root never put out any new root. So all this time, you have all this volume of the moss that never dry out. So when you do moss, it's very different than the bark. Moss is like a sponge. Remember, I keep saying this: less is more. So all this old moss, you can throw it away. Don't recycle them. You can do what I usually do. I do as a compost. You can put a compost on your vegetable garden. I use it on a fruit tree. It's acid oriented, so you can retain your flower bed. So put a layer on top of it. Okay. Then the fun part is to inspect. Roger, can you look at the root area? You see here? Okay. This is all good. All the root here is succulent, and they touch the plum. Okay, these are all the good root. Anything that look black, you need to cut them off, because you don't want to cut, and you always find the tool. Okay. This is not my day. Look at this. What's happened today?
You need another one?
Huh?
You need another fire?
No, that's fine. Okay, so we need to cut this off. Okay, and Brian, at the meantime, just give me a fresh water. And since this have a lot of bad stuff here, see, I always say this is essential. I will have Phalaenopsis. And the tables, this here is the capsule. It's about teaspoon. So I have this Phalaenopsis solution here on hand, and Roger. So now I have a bag of Phalaenopsis. Roger, I'm gonna rinse off. So this is the Phalaenopsis solution bed here. Okay, so this is all the bad root that I just cut off. Okay, and some of you are new. I have been using Phalaenopsis solution for over 25 years. And in fact, we helped the Phalaenopsis company, which is in Santa Ana, California, to put their product to be labeled for orchid. In USD, in the United States, if you don't test it or do a research, you cannot put label on orchid. And I did a trial for them about almost 30 years ago. And it is safe on orchid. And the best part is it's biodegradable in 24 hours. And this smells even better than Lysol. You can actually use this to clean the bathroom. And I don't use any bleach. This is actually better than bleach. Okay, and kill 99% of the fungi and virus on contact. Okay, so it's ready. I'm gonna set it aside. What else do we need for repotting? Oh, good. I promise you we're gonna do a mini compost today. We have one item. It's called this number. It's kind of fun. We don't do compost very often, but we do have this. There's a mini compost that have 5 seedling in there. Okay, so it's beautiful.
So this is one they can buy right now.
Yeah, they can buy
And if they buy it, then it's ready to do what
yeah,
you're going to do right now.
I'm gonna show you how to do compost. So what we do is we take it down. This is the compost is in here for about 8 months already. So I like this idea of mini compost because not everybody have a space to grow a 1 flask. A flask is about 20 to 25. And 5 plants will give you a very a good spectrum of variation. You see how nice? This is very fresh, and this is the same color. Okay, so now I'm doing a physical inspection on each one of them. Okay, now Roger, I want you to see this one here. This is okay. Now remember, I told you in my nursery I don't use any fungicide. Okay, and but this is what happened in the wild. The rain on it, the plant have the immune system. This is the case. It might have a fungi because the leaf got wet at night, but the plant already sealed in the fungus, so they're not expanding. So this is just cosmetic. What happened when you do not use fungicide, the plant are stronger. We don't use any fungicide here, but we use pesticide. But plants are much stronger because if you look at the orchid in the wild, who spray fungicide on them when they're on the tree? Nothing. And the plant on the wild is thicker. So is the orchid outside too. So add all this 5 seed in here. I do an inspection.
Like, how long they need
Then
to
I'm
soak
going-
in the Phalaenopsis?
Yes, and I always let it rinse it.
Just rinse, no soap.
No. Because this is really bad. Okay, because you just rinse it, and then again this compost. You can use it for compost. Okay. So now you have a choice for the Phalaenopsis. I like to use the moss. Okay, so now I have a bucket of ready to use moss. See, you want to make sure. See here, when I squeeze it, there's no water coming down. Maybe a little bit. That's okay. Okay, so this is you. But once I squeeze it, you don't want to pack. You don't want to pack it this tight. You want to let it loose. So your prepared moss should be like this, nice and loose. Okay. Now this is the dendrobium, the Keiki we just have. Okay. And there's different sizes. For this, I will use the total size. So if you're at home, you can do a rose pot. Okay, so that's perfect. It kind of gives a visual eye. Then, just like the Phalaenopsis I showed you earlier, you do a pattern from the center here, where we cut off. You do a center, okay? So you're not squeezing all the root together. You do a pattern, okay? So this is the trick that really help the plant to survive. If you do everything, squeeze them together, the plant, just like when you're planting the tree, you want to spread out the root also, or you planting the roses. Then you do a pattern from outside, and you just make it a ball, make it a mid-ball, sort of. Okay, so you squeeze it. See, you have a ball a little bit larger than the width of the pot. And you see here, I'm not pressing. I just push it down, push it down. A lot of times people say, "Oh, the moss is packed really tight." No, it's not. It's actually after 2 or 3 years, just like this, with all this moss, they're gonna compress. Okay, so in the beginning, we never really pack, because once you pack too tight, it's not good for them. But just like Phalaenopsis before, some of the previous week, you want to leave at least a couple inches here. You don't want to put it too high, otherwise when you water them, when the moss is dry, they never go have area. You're gonna have an area for them to absorb. Okay, so this is the pre-moist moss, and the biggest mistake people make is to water them right away. No, when you do the moss, whether it's Cattleya, Phalaenopsis, anything, the trick is do not water them, because the moss is pre-moist. Okay, what happens if you water them? Guess what? They're not gonna send out new root or a dryness. There's no incentive for them to put a new root, especially some of this type. Okay, so then I'm gonna put them all separate later on. Then I put all the one got repotted recently in a maybe what we call a nursery area, a nursing nursery. So I don't water them, so you don't accidentally water with the rest of your orchid. Okay, now this is the one that Brian has. Okay,
For how long?
2 weeks. Yeah. So this is okay. This is the one that we also disinfect. Okay, we clean up as fast as possible. Then the next step is what size of pot to do. Okay. This is too big. Okay. There is no set. Even though this was a 6-inch pot, doesn't mean that you had to go back to a 6-inch pot. Okay. It's really depends on how much root ball you have. So you have two choices. You have your clear pot or this pot. Okay. For the benefit, I'm going to put clear pot because I always like clear pot because you can see what's going on at the root area. Then again, I'm going to do a padding. I will do always the padding from the bottom. Okay. And then once I got a padding in the middle down, then I squeeze, then do a padding from outside and making a big maple. Okay, so I'm going to use this. This is about appropriate for it. Okay, again, remember what I said with the moss? Less is more. Less is more. Okay? And especially for plant stress like this, moss is a better choice than fir bark. Because the trouble with the bark is it's hard to re-wet. And bark tend to dry out too fast. Especially when they're new. So the moss is actually a miracle media. And the pH for the moss, especially the cherry moss, is about 4.5. It's acid. Okay, that's no problem. Orchid can take acid polymedia. And guess what? At this 4.5 pH, the fungi that infects the root, the PTN and Phytophthora, they cannot survive under this low pH. So the fungi, the moss is actually a natural inhibitor for the fungi. So this is why I say I don't use a lot of fungicide, because a lot of medium like this have 4.5. They naturally prohibit the fungi for growing and infection root. And then very important, when I have a root here, sometimes you can write down the date of repotting. And then again, it's pre-moist. If you have a really dry room, you can actually put it in your shoebox. Put it inside the shoebox and covers it for humidity. But if you're in a greenhouse or at home, just put it down and set aside for 2 weeks. Okay, now this is the one. Oh, can we rinse off maybe 5 seconds? Yeah, okay, yeah. This is the one last week was so bad, and also have all the lot. You notice I have a lot of the woody here, okay?
What?
Wood.
Oh, wood.
Yeah. When the leaf, the structure, they become kind of woody. Then again, I always have a tendency, you always flip it up, upside down, okay? Again, you don't want to squeeze all the root like this. Flip it over. This is the center. Build it up from here. And then turn it over. Then you put out the root out here. So you're not squeezing the bulb. I think this is better because I did this on one of the earlier podcasts, but we always have an audio problem. So this is good. It's kind of nice to review this again and using a different plant at different stage of the stress. And this is another. And by the way, we sell this. This is kind of nice. Very inexpensive. It is disposable. You know, you don't have even to wash it just when you change the pot. Just throw it away. And I like this because it's also clear. You can see what's going on. And the Phalaenopsis root, for example, the light go through it. They can do photosynthesis. So this is good. Why don't you have more practice? It's easy. So I just push it down. Don't worry, it doesn't hurt them. You do it with love and pray.
Just take it out and redo it, you know?
And you see here? Okay, again.
Because it
I leave a 2-inch space here for water. And since the root is aside, I can see what's going on here. The moist, wet moss is dark color. So this is why I like to use clear pot. Okay, sometimes clear pot might be hard to stand, and you can put it in the clear pot. It didn't stand.
Or a tray.
Or a tray. Okay, voila. And when do you do the water again? After 2 weeks, no water. You can actually mix them if in Arizona. You're gonna see a new root come out. Once you see a new root come out, then you can water. Okay. Or if you see that this particular one is really bad case, so that they already have some kind of stress on the leaf. Spray Mega Drive, or my Mega Drive will be ready by July 1st. Okay, and or mist. Okay, and set them aside. Okay. Now, this is the case. We just removed the Keiki earlier. Now, this is a perfect stage. This is the Dendrobium Red Emperor. Okay, this definitely need to go out a bigger pot. And the easiest way is just cut it. Okay.
So, Norman, how long have you been growing orchids? Why don't you tell people a little history of when you start, like...
Oh, who is this Norman guy?
Yeah, who is Norman guy?
Well, I've been growing orchids since I was 6 years old. My first orchid was actually Cymbidium.
Did you learn from my godfather?
Yes, in Thailand. Stop distracting me, and I lost my thought. Okay,
You
so
do that to me all the time.
oh, that get bad time. Okay, so Roger, can you see this? Okay, this is actually very good. Perfect example. Okay, but it's still too big to go to this size of pot. If this plant is going to use in the bark, moss is actually less and small. And if I can use this, maybe slightly smaller if I use orchid bark, but not with the moss.
There's
Yes?
a green pot behind it. There's a 5-inch green
Yeah.
pot. Yeah, do that.
Okay, but I'm gonna use this as an example to show you how to do orchid bark, okay? Now, this is from my nursery. Everything is pre-mixed, pre-ready. Got is pasteurized, okay? There's no weed. It got also have bamboo charcoal in here. Okay, this is a perfect, nice 5-inch pot. And since I'm gonna go this, I'm gonna decide to use bark here. Okay, Roger, can you show this? This is a perfect stage.
It's too deep.
No, let's give it room for it. Okay, because when the plant at this size, this will give the plant a 2-year space. Okay, and I'm not gonna remove any of the bark of the moss because the moss is in perfect health. There's no rotting. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I do want to break it. Is it working? Ah. Oh, this one here.
So that was broken. Is that one out too?
Yeah. Okay. In case it's a plan B, you can always store this, dip it into your Phalaenopsis solution. Now, since I have a degree in horticulture, we do this a lot on your fruit tree. You know what I'm doing? I'm breaking the root ball. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's okay. If you're a bonsai grower, we do root pruning. I'm actually cutting the break. Okay, so
is it a
all
good
you need to
idea?
do is no. This is the front. This is the back. You don't want to put the front at the edge. Okay, so first of all, you need to know where's the front and back. This is the back. The new grow always will be your front grow. Okay, so you have 2 leaves here. This side here, and this side here. So I'm gonna put it right here. So that give me some space for here, and so some here too. I always have my left hand. I put it by the edge. And also put. I like to just tap it. A lot of time, it just fall off. And this space is right here. Put your finger. Push it down. Push it down. Not enough press in the center. You just press in the side only. And it should be okay. And that's it. And make sure you put your label back in there. And this bark is also pretty moist, so I don't have to wet water them. But Roger, can you see this here? I want to make sure to take out some. But then I still have 1 inch. So this plastic pot had this edge here. Then this is why they do this rim here, so that you cannot go above this edge here. So that give you water, a space for water to penetrate down. Wow. Then we done something with the orchid bark. And Brian?
Did you have a question? Tony, what's your question?
When you pre-soak the bark or the moss, how long do you soak them for, and then how long do you dry?
I usually soak it 24 hours the night before.
And then you just leave it to dry?
Yeah. Well, the moss I squeeze the water out, but the bark I use maybe a container with a true drainage, and just make sure they not sit in the water. Okay. And Brian, come here. So this is the Brian's. We put this outside.
Here.
Okay. This is his Dendrobium rainbow chips, and it's a weed. Really. How long you have this?
2 years?
2 years. Okay. So remember last week we did clean up some of the leaf, but it's not enough. So turn over. It's okay. They have so many leaf. This is natural because Brian's grow this outdoor, and this is just discoloration. I usually just trim them off, and by trimming off some of the leaf, you give more air space to the plant. So Brian, what do you want to do this in the moss or bark?
Moss.
Moss. Okay. He grew this outside at his house at West Covina, about 20 minutes from here, and try to open it. I'm gonna let you part your orchid.
Yeah, no.
Okay, it is so tight. So the one way to do it is what? To break it.
Usually we have a hammer.
We usually have a hammer.
You want to use this to hit it?
Okay, good. Now, this is what we did before. You see here? Remember the styrofoam peanut from your packing and shipping material? Use it for your at the bottom of your pot. Especially the bigger the container, the longer it's dry out. So you can use this for drainage. Okay, so this one here. Do you want to find another pot?
The 6 inch. The 6 inch.
Okay, good. Good.
No, let's do the 6 inch.
No. Hey, who's the expert? I'm the expert. You're the business major.
Do you know who does most of the potting when I was younger? Me, not Norman.
No, you did the test too.
No.
Wash
I did
it.
all the
Okay.
different
Talk to the hand. Okay. I love my sister.
I guess I'll go
She's
with
my
it.
favorite sister, even though I have only one. Okay, now. Oh, this is good. This is good. Okay. Look at the moss is good. Because Brian did a good job of watering because he didn't dry between water. So the moss is not decay. Okay? Right? And are you going to do it yourself, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do that earlier. I'm going to cut off some. Okay. And then, well, he did a good job because if it have algae here, usually you want to remove it. But this one here is perfect example. You can just what we call ship it. So you do the minimum destruction of the root. So you just pop it out to a fresh bark, and without doing all the taking out all the decayed media. And okay, this is the position. Okay, Brian, can you get some? I'm gonna put. You see here? Okay, Brian, you do it. You want to do your mask? Okay. Okay, Brian is my customer, and Brian actually helped me at the very first episode, just him and me, and he did it through our iPhone. So Brian, what you could do is, I like the tall part because in physics, I don't like to use for this kind of stuff. I don't like to use a tall and shallow because in physics, it drains better, the gravity. So before you do this, Brian, the edge is right here, but this is 2 inches, a bit too tall. You will do here. So now you got a position right here, but it's still a lot of down here. So a lot of time, it's okay. You can either use a styrofoam peanut, or you can use a coarse bark for extra drainage. Because you don't want to, because it's so short versus here, you don't want to have all volume of the moss. They're harder to dry out at the bottom. So I already filled up about 2 inches of either styrofoam peanut or coarse bark. Okay, Brian? Then you can build up. You notice that I'm not soaking this. I don't want to because I'm gonna have it pretty moist. That way, this part here, the physiology of the root ball, is say I'm dry. So they're going to do is they're going to put a new root for the padding here. Okay? Wanna do it?
Norman, just one question. When you scissor it, try to cut it open, does that damage the root and
No, it's
interferes
good.
with that?
It's actually, we think might be to damage the root, but there's a lot of good root there. Okay? And then if you're a bonsai grower, you know that there's a bonsai 60 years old and the root, the pot is so shallow. Every time they repot the bonsai every 5 years, they do what we call root pruning. We prune our fruit tree. We prune our yard. Pruning is encourage the new growth, so it's okay. So Brian is making the big ball now. See here? Good. Yeah. So you want to make a big ball more than this. Okay, and then push down.
I need to put some underneath.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. The bottom have the bark here. Okay, good. That's good.
Oh, you can do it wrong? Well, it's never too late to learn the right way.
Oh, good.
That's why I stick to
So it's just
every
full
step.
finger on the side.
Nice job, Brian.
Good job, Brian.
Brian, woo!
He has a big audience.
We have 10 people here.
6
the
feet
audience.
apart.
6
Okay,
feet
I
apart.
gotta ask Brian because I never know his major. Brian, what was your major at UC Berkeley?
Oh god.
Oh God.
Molecular and cell biology.
Molecular and cell biology, and he can pop orchid too,
And grow orchid.
and grow orchid.
Yes.
Good job, Brian.
How's that?
Okay, good. No, so I good. Then he did a good job. Push, and then there's go good an inch of water. Okay, and this is his pot. And oh, by the way, some people want to buy this, and I already get a quote from my vendor, and then we're gonna find out how much they are. This is all stainless, but what Brian did is very clever. He used it to raise up, and then get a lot of air movement. Okay, so then again, don't water for 2 weeks. At the meantime, you can mix them, make a dry, or just mix the leaf. And all the orchid that we just planted today, I'm gonna put it in the area, reduced light. And I'm not gonna water, I'm not gonna feed it. You can do mega dry, but the idea is to give them a time to heal themselves and encourage the root system to come out. But the worst location you can put it is put it out in a very windy area and a bright area. They're going to be dehydrated.
Brian,
Okay.
Donna says no pressure, only 115 people watching.
Okay.
Who said that?
Any more
Donna-
questions before
Donna
I move
Richards.
up to the next project? Okay. So we're gonna put it here.
It's time for show and tell, right?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
It's about learning.
It's called learning. Oh, we still had to do the CP, the compound. Remember with the mini compound? Okay. And look how I think we sell this. Look how pretty. Okay, now you have 5 baby plants. Okay, sometimes you can ask you, I think this is too much root. Remember, small is better. And with a baby plant like this one here, only has so short a root. Can you see it, Roger?
Yep, we got it.
So you can actually get this really small, but cute one. And now you got a hand of it really fast. Just make another. I'm not a very good cook, but just the same way you make it meatball. Okay. Or hamburger patty for your barbecue.
Hamburger patty doesn't look that way.
Huh?
Hamburger patty does not look that way.
Okay.
He said he wasn't a good cook.
I told you I'm not a good cook, but I can tell orchid.
He's like, this is a patty. Let me shove
Okay,
it
but
in.
you had an idea now. So once you got a mini compound, now you have 5 individual seeding that you can go on. And the nice about Phalaenopsis is they can flower maybe in a year or year and a half. So with a 5 seeding, it's very economical. You can have a chance to see 5 different variations. You can share or exchange with your friend or neighbor.
Gabriel would like to know how many days should you wait before repotting a Keiki to let the cut dry?
About 2 to 3 days.
2 to
But
3 days.
last time we did it for a week.
Right.
But because this is in the greenhouse environment, and but this is also, if anything happen, they will develop that in the 5 days to 7 days, almost like the virus. They quarantine for 14 days. This case we quarantine for 7 days. Okay, and that's it for now. So anybody have more question before we go to show and tell?
Thank you, Norman.
Hot when it's in bloom. No.
No, I do not. That's a very good question. Do I repot orchid when they are in flower like this? No. The worst case is to repot them in flower. What you want to do is when the Phalaenopsis lasts a long time, maybe 2 to 3 months. So you do want to make sure you feed it with my orchid food, because it lasts a long time. But except if the orchid the sequential, the novelty type. Okay, and that's a good question. This is the sequential, and this one here, you don't need to repot because it's still a very good area. The only time that you repot the novelty while in flower is the type that really bad root system. And if I don't repot it this year, the plant can bloom themselves to death. And that's the case I did not last week. You cut them all off. Do not let them flower. And that's what we did with this plant. Last year they had a flower spike. The plant is dehydrated. You see the wrinkle here? I cut them all off. You want to save the plant because the Phalaenopsis can keep blooming because they thought they're dying. So they won't have flower, so they can make seed for propagation that way.
Someone asked about not repotting as soon as you get a plant, especially if it's shipped.
Oh yeah,
Should allow it to rest.
that's a good question. Is that Crystal?
Yeah.
Hi, Crystal. See, I'm a psychic reader too. There is a internet sensation. Some girl, there's one of the reasons Jeff and I talk about this is there are so many internet experts, and they all know about what they might grow orchid for a year and they're expert. And Jeff said, "You know all your stuff. Why don't you do this?" I go, "Oh, I'm kind of a private person." Anyway, so this is why I'm doing this. No, the worst part you can do to your orchid is when you receive in the mail, by mail, and then repot it right away. I think somebody even say, "Oh, you need to check your root guess what? Even when you ship your orchid from West Coast to New York, our physiology will have what? Jet lag. Orchid will have jet lag too. Let alone. Think about yourself put in the box for 2 days, FedEx 2 days, in the dark. You know, you put yourself in the closet for 2 days. How do you feel? Please don't do that. Any more stress to your orchid. Okay? You know, orchid growing is logic. You know, there's nothing fancy. Make it simple. Make it easy. So do not repot right away when you receive. That's why our shipping instructions say, do not water for the 5 or 7 days unless root is dry. And that's the worst thing you can do to orchid is to repot them right away when you receive it. Some people feel that they need to repot into their own potting media for the environment, and that's fine. But do it maybe 2 to 3 weeks when the plant adjusts to your environment, because they might come in from a greenhouse in California, and we grow our orchid about 55. This house here is not very humid, only 55 only. So they might go into New York, Arizona, and Texas, Houston, Florida. We have a lot of customers in Florida. So give the plant a chance to adjust to the environment. Let alone when we do the packing in the sleeve, sometimes there's some physical mark on the leaf. Okay, you don't want to do repotting because sometimes the mark on the leaf might bound for infection, and this is why by putting or repotting right away, you put in more stress on the orchid. So anything that you don't want to reduce the stress is better for the orchid. Okay? Any more question, Crystal?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, right. We need to clean this up. Okay. How are we doing so far?
Yeah.
Good. Hey Brian, can we have number 1, please? Oh, okay. Oh, this is not a stranger. Oh, Brian, can you get a Lazy Susan for me? This is the MC640, and many of you have this variety, and this is the one that Sonny say frozen in time. That's his word. I think it flowers for about 4 to 6 months, and this is also the one that's really fragrant. It does have a fragrance like watermelon bubblegum. It's delicious, okay? And it's on special. It's called Soko Devi Peachy. You got a beautiful peachy, almost like a peach skin. 1995. Look at how beautiful the root. This is why we do this, so it gives you the dimensional, not just like website. Nice root. And this is also the type that you don't cut off the spike. It's a sequential flower. So a lot of the time you will keep flower from the tip here. And like Sunny says, it's frozen in time. The really thick flower. If you touch the flower, it's almost like plastic. And next one, right? Hey, Brian's my assistant is sitting down, and I'm standing. Okay, this is German Vincent. It's a tetrapolis by Speciosa, and we have featured many of the German Vincent that's purple, but this is using the Speciosa is coffee color with vinegar color. So this one is one of our, we don't have too many of this, that's why I featured this one. This is the German Vincent that they've been what I call R shades, sunset color. They've been ranging from orange, peachy color, and this number is a very good value. Look at the spike. This is what I mean, like the old spike and the new spike is flowering too. Okay, this is the new spike this year. And this is the old spike from previous year. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this number, you're gonna have minimum 2 to 4 spikes. So almost over this one. So wonderful, and also have wonderful fragrance. So instead of red and purple German Vincent, you're gonna get the sunset orchid color. Okay, next one, right? Oh wow. Okay, we give it two side by side. No flower, but this is a good. Just remember the number, okay? Fragrance, variegated leaf. I think I posted a picture of the flower. This one has Shuriana in the background, so it's fragrant. And it's cheaper to buy them right now because it haven't flowered yet. But it might be good for you to flower your own. And this is the premium side. Look how beautiful. Okay, perfect for under light. This is the one that will give you at least 1 to 2 spikes. And they should be spiking pretty soon. This is the one I put it in my greenhouse. This will flower for Christmas. Okay? Now, we sold up every time we sell this one. Don't have flower, but check out the picture. If you like chocolate drop, this is actually a beautiful vintage reddish color, the chocolate color, with a white lip. It's half Shuriana. So check out the website with a picture, and it will have and it's miniature, by the way. So I have this side by side with 2 miniature. So check out the flower, and again, they will be spiking very soon. So they'll be flower for either coming up Christmas or as late as Valentine's Day. Next.
What was the number of the other one on the?
Which one?
1873.
This one here?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you can also look at the video. We're gonna upload the video later on. So a lot of people see it many times. Okay, number 5.
Hello.
Oh. Okay. Oh. Brian doing such a good job. And look at he featured 2 of the lady zipper for you.
Look, it's so cute.
Yeah. Okay. Even though this one I have a customer thought this is the cool grower. No, this is local chitin. Okay, and it's almost opening. It's almost open right now. Local chitin is a patent species from Malaysia, tropical type, and they only flower in the summertime. So the season just coming up for them and they love to be outside. And if you live in New York, a lot of customers in New York mow their orchid in the summertime. Great for Florida. They love the heat. They're from Malaysia, okay? And a small pot. Look at that. Doesn't take a lot of space. Good for windowsill in the northeast. And this is the linear quiverwood. And there's again, this is Phalaenopsis by Deltanarii. Now, Phalaenopsis is a cool grower, but crossed with the Vietnamese species Deltanarii, this easily can flower even in Homestead, Florida. And look how pretty the leaf. And the best part is linear quiverwood had the fragrance, smell that almost like almond flower. Have a beautiful fragrance too. And
Awesome,
very delicate.
Awesome, Connor.
Next one. Okay. So we go with the 2 path. And this, I'm very proud of this hybrid. Okay. Remember this one? It's a complex Vanilla and Valencia hybrid. And it's a very big improvement. Those of you are judges, if this come to your table with the 3 flowers open at the same time, that's an improvement. Remember the species, Vanilla and Valencia, usually 1 flower at a time. Now, this is Navy Green Eagle by Charlie Yellow Green. Fantastic. Anytime you see fantastic, it's my clone. So this is my hybrid about 5 years ago. So, and this actually achieved what I accomplished. It has 3 flowers at the same time, and this is the 3rd flower is opening instead of 1 flower at a time only. And by the way, this is the first bloom seeding.
Can that one be mounted?
Yes, they can be mounted. And look how pretty. This is the first bloom seeding, and about 3 years out of flask. Remember, with the moss, the size like this, if it's in the bark, will be in a 4-inch pot. But with the moss, less is more. So you actually, the plant is not trying to fill up with the bark, the root, versus the bark area. Instead, they have adequate root area all the energies is not trying to develop massive the root system, but trying to the leaf and the flower. So this is very good if for judging purpose. I know I have lots of customer judges. This is a big improvement. Carries 3 flower, and possible even 4 flower. The first flower is not even faded yet. So this is a very big improvement for novelty. And upright, self-supporting spike, and also fragrance. And the last tool is something that I think will be very excited. Is the outdoor. Okay. Dendrobium. This is the Australian dendrobium, primary hybrid called Hilda Prosta. Help me out with the pronunciation. Anyway, it's a speciosum hybrid by Tenegrossum. This is part of I think Eric, my brother, just put it on one of our summer sales because you should get this because ready to pop out to a citrus pop. If you're in Florida, great for mounting on the tree. Check out the picture on the website. It's yellow, almost like miniature brassia, waxy and fragrance, and the leaf is very ornamental. And if you're in California, West Coast, perfect. We go this outdoor. This type of dendrobium from Australia can go down to about 35 degrees, and I grow this outdoor, by the way, and down to about 105, 110. They love the heat, and that's one of the species called speciosum. They can go up to 115 degrees, and the species actually grow on the top of the rock in Australia. So it's a wonderful to have. Is hard to kill.
Did it take like sun, direct sun?
Yes, they take full morning sun. We're here. But last one, but not the least one. Okay, I do have a few of this gigantic specimen size of the dendrobium. Now, this is the dendrobium. Can you see this? Next week I should give you a picture earlier so you can pick the flower. Remember the number and go Google the picture on the website. This just finished flower, and it had a pink flower, almost like Nobile dendrobium, but this is native from my home, from Taiwan, North Taiwan. But they also have distribution to China or North Vietnam. Just covered with pink flower, fragrant. So they just done flower, okay? And this is a specimen site. If you are in Florida, this is a good object for mounting on the tree. Put it in the hanging basket, just let it hang. Okay, they just finish all the flower, and it's perfect stage. Get it for the new grow coming up. I think they're about $65 with that 12 can on it. So next year will be double in size. Okay, but we do have smaller in size. But I always say when the specimen size, the premium size is available, because this is like time. You know, this is a 6-7 years old plant. If you have this available when we release it, buy it now, because next year when they part them up bigger, they're gonna be at least at $95. So get this one right now. Okay, I think that's it for today's. What was I doing? Anyway, show and tell, and I hope you enjoy and come back next week. Watch us. I gotta ask my producer, Jeff. Am I excused?
You are excused.
Okay, everything okay so far? Okay, take it. Until then, happy orchid growing and have a great summer, and always wear your mask in public, okay?
And welcome to everybody from Naples, Florida. We have a lot of new members from Naples.
Oh yes!
Like at least 20 new members from Naples.
I spoke at Naples, Florida, Tampa and Naples in the West Coast 2 years ago. Thank you so much for joining us, and let people know, because I do travel a lot, so I can relate to your area. So when you have my podcast, show up, tell Jeff where you come from. So I don't have a script for my presentation. I can always pick it up and relate it with your area. Okay, we do a lot of show in Florida, and welcome. Tell your friend, neighbor, if you think this podcast might benefit them, maybe you can pick up something from me versus some of the internet sensation. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.